Welcome to Cascadia Hockey. My name is Corey Gaston. With me, as always, my panel, my confidants, homies, dudes who randomly wear pants. Aaron Piper and Kyle Houts.
Randomly.
What up? Allegedly.
I allegedly wear
Dude,
pants.
did I tell you I ordered my first sticker for the car?
What was it?
It's just an ostrich, and then underneath it says allegedly.
I love it. I love it. They the other night I was pleasantly surprised. The wife and I were like, let's watch something tonight. What are we going to watch? And we opened up Hulu, and they had released the
Valentine's episode.
I still haven't seen it yet.
Valentine's?
Valentine's? That's how Kincaid says it.
I think you're in the wrong Valentine's zone there, Derry. That was a good one.
Valentine's.
That was like, whoa, okay. Because it was all the speed dating and all that stuff. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was it was a solid episode. Did you catch it yet?
No.
Are you kidding me?
I am. God, Corey. We're trying to run a podcast.
The fucking embarrassment.
Fucking
Hang
embarrassment.
on, we're going to answer it. It's my wife.
Oh. Snow.
Hello. She's like, the toilet's backed up.
What was that?
Help us.
Said stop answering when you're doing a podcast.
But it makes for such entertaining radio.
This is quality content.
It's so embarrassing.
No. It's not video.
Well, yeah, we're not
We're not recording any video here.
Not yet.
It's all good.
Just everything you're saying, because I keep putting the phone next to the mic.
Click.
Yeah, hard now.
Yeah.
Good job. Hey, you are you just on break?
Yeah.
Okay. I will call you back later.
Okay, I'll still talk about you.
I love you.
Oh.
Bye.
I bet you he had a good Valentine's Day.
I was at RadCon. I was unloading shit for RadCon.
Oh, yeah.
Does it start
All
on
Valentine's
Thursday?
night.
Does start
No, it
Thursday?
starts Friday morning.
Oh, but you guys were getting
so
set
we had
up.
to get the room
Yeah.
set up.
So it's funny we're talking about letter.
Sorry about that, listeners.
Nah, the listeners don't care. They don't. We're like 3 minutes in. They've already hit.
They were
stop.
even in their cars as they were listening to this. They were like, "Oh, what a sweet husband."
I want to give a shout out to the Playfair family. Speaking of Letterkenny, the other day, Austin had posted a like an '80s retro style picture of him and Dylan and Jackson together.
Oh, I saw that.
And then it was a congrats to Jackson because Jackson just graduated college hockey and is
Awesome.
now playing in the ECHL for the Orlando Solar Bears, I believe it is. And he had like 2 or 3 points in his first game. So
Nice.
That's awesome.
former Tri-City American / Spokane Chief Jackson Playfair, congrats. We love that family.
She just called me evil for answering the phone. I only do that to mess with her.
So, Kyle, I'm gonna give the floor to you here because
So much to be angry about.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. So last night at
Do I need to ready the soapbox?
Yeah.
Okay.
are you going to climb on? I didn't know if you wanted to climb on it or.
Yeah, I will just like.
We're going to talk about dumbass
stack all the furniture in this room.
belligerent fans, man, that just need to fucking get a clue.
Yeah.
And it all stemmed from a game last night.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really stem from last night. It's like
Well, yeah, it's been
accumulation.
ongoing, right?
And I think what's happened is there's just been some kind of like. There's always that one fan.
Yep.
There's always that one fan who just is just belligerent for the wrong reasons. And last night he just got on my nerves, and I sometimes wonder if he hears me because I don't sit too far from him in my booth,
Right.
and he'll yell at the rest for something, and I was like, shut the fuck up. and sometimes it just gets a little too loud, and I'm like, I probably heard that, whatever. I don't know. I got fed up, not just at him though. It was the fans in general. One of our players,
Yeah.
kind of made a little ugly hit from behind. It was the call was a check from behind.
Late in the period.
Yeah. I think it was the second period.
Mm-hmm.
And he made that hit, and then the guy went like face first into the boards. Turns out he was okay, but he was on the ice for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always really scary, no matter what team it is.
Sure.
Like,
Right.
I was nervous.
Yeah, you
I was
don't want
like,
that
I
to
really
happen.
hope we don't see a stretcher come out onto this
Yeah.
ice.
Yeah.
Because that would be a bad day.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to see that. Nobody's going for that. You know, I know our player wasn't going for an injury or anything like that.
Right.
I'm going to leave all names out of it for now. You know, but like once the player got up, the fans started booing, and that's something I haven't really seen in the Toyota Center yet.
Wow.
Usually people will cheer.
Right.
But I think things were starting to get heated and stuff, and the fans kind of got into it, and I think they were mad at the call. But I mean, obviously, like they don't see what I see. I can go back and look at the replay, and I did.
Right.
I looked at the replay, and yeah, it was an ugly hit. It was a legit call.
Could have been a major, possibly.
Well, I was saving it. I saved the clip just in case the league wanted it.
Right.
And that's always just what happens when something like that happens.
Right.
If it's a major,
Right.
then I have to send it to the league.
Right.
Luckily, it wasn't. Luckily, the kid was okay. But the fans booed. You know, so a lot of people were like, "Oh, he was diving." You know, well, so what? Like, if he's on the ice for a bit, he looks like he's hurt. Let's let the referees decide whether he was diving or not.
Right.
Shut the fuck up. Sit down. You know, maybe cheer that he got up or something.
Right.
Be happy nobody got injured playing hockey.
Did they at least cheer when he got up?
No.
Man, see
Man,
that?
that's fucked
Maybe
up.
some people did, but I couldn't hear it. There were a lot of boos.
Wow.
And I think the boos could have been more for the call that was made.
Right.
And our player going to the box. To be fair, like in our fans, in our fans' defense, I think it probably could have been him going to the box, our guy going to the box.
Okay.
But it happened right at the time the guy was getting up.
Yeah.
And he got off the ice. He went off the bench, and the trainer took care of him for a bit.
Yeah.
I don't think he was bleeding, but it was a scary hit.
Sure. Any of those hits along the
we've
boards.
always got this one guy that just is just belligerent towards the referees. Like
Yeah.
nothing is ever our fault.
Right.
And he might listen to this podcast. I don't know, but if he is, he knows who I'm talking about him.
No, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, we all know who.
As soon as he brought
Yeah.
it up, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, we
And-
all know who I'm talking about.
It
And
starts
fuck
preseason
him.
game one.
Yeah.
It starts preseason game one.
Yeah.
Fuck
in fact, I
him.
think he probably heckles the refs in the blue-white game, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
he will.
Yeah.
He will. He always thinks it's the ref's fault.
Yeah.
Any call against us.
Yeah.
And then even when they make a call on the other team, he's still yelling at them. And it's like, what the fuck do you ever enjoy a hockey game? Do you ever like say, yeah, that was a fun game. I had a good time. Like, you smile? Do you have a fucking sense of fucking joy?
Here's the thing, man, is I have seen the refs fuck up a game.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Bad. And seen it where it's deserved. But you can't fucking freak out over every
Yeah.
call, dude.
And
But
here's
this is
something-
also a developmental league. and
Absolutely.
For the refs as well.
I thought, I thought you were talking about the dude.
Well, yeah.
but like, yeah, and that was my gripe, was that like, it's occasionally the referees do miss calls. Trust-
Absolutely.
I know this for a fact.
Absolutely.
And it happens. They're human.
Yep.
What they see is much different than what we see. What they're focused on is much different than what we're focused on.
Well, so that actually comes into play with as you know, I'm much aligned for amongst our fans. I'm a soccer fan, and people are always like, "Oh, those guys are just big crybabies, and they fall down, and that they have to make a big fucking show of what happened
To get a
because
call.
there's one other dude on 100-yard field.
There's only one ref in soccer.
There's three, but you know what I mean. Like
Still a big field.
It is a huge
It's
field.
a huge field, and
Yeah.
there's a lot. There's like
Sure.
22 people
But it's-
running around.
that's bred that culture of diving in soccer. Like,
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just
yeah,
like,
and I get what people are saying.
But
with it,
people
the
don't
norm.
get it, and then they automatically assume that they're showboating it. And I'm like, dude, no, they're just trying to get attention called to the thing.
Yeah.
But now you're starting
I still
to
think
see
it sucks.
It's,
but
you're
I
not wrong.
absolutely get what you were saying. Like,
You're
like,
not wrong.
like, I don't know. Like, it,
Here,
But what I was getting at is I've started seeing it more and more and more in hockey,
yeah.
where somebody gets tapped and it's a flagrant, whoa! you
Yeah.
know, off to the side or whatever.
So have you guys, I don't remember where I heard this. It was a couple years ago, but the league was actually, and I don't remember if it was the WHL or the NHL, but the league was toying with the idea of keeping 2 refs, but taking one off the ice and putting them upstairs in a booth to be able to look down on the ice because it's a different.
I love that idea.
We've got referees in booths.
I know. We do. But I'm saying the official,
Yeah,
one of them would
okay.
be up in the booth.
Well, we've got the guys.
I know.
The guys that we have are WHL officials,
Off ice officials.
and yeah, they every league has one. And I think something people don't understand, going back to this whole like whether or not the referees get in trouble for shit. They do. They absolutely do.
Oh, absolutely. Well, there's a local boy here that used to be a referee in a lot of games, and a couple years ago he was downgraded to linesman, and he's never made it back to referee.
Yeah.
If you're listening, you know who I'm talking about.
Well, yeah. So the league does look at like everything. Like there was a missed call last night. It was too many men.
I saw that on your Facebook. Cough, cough.
Guarantee
Somebody
they got talked to about it.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Like there's at least like 3 officials, that are watching the officials on the ice. So
Right. And the other side of it, too, the league does try to protect the officials, and
Absolutely.
that's fine because anyway. I have watched several games from ice level in the suicide box, and let me tell you, what you see down there, what is noticed, is a lot different than what you see up in the stands.
even
It's
as
sometimes
the goalie.
well, yeah, I mean, you've been on the ice for games and stuff, but I mean, it moves so fast, and I'll be down on ice level watching, this end when there's penalties being called on this end that I never saw.
Yeah.
And it moves fast. I can only imagine what the suicide box in an NHL game would be like, speed-wise
Yeah. Oh, I
and
know.
intensity-wise.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, just WHL level is crazy.
Yeah.
But fans, what you are seeing in the stands is different than what the refs are seeing down there. Booing them ain't going to do shit for you. In fact, it might work against
They don't give
you.
a fuck.
Yeah, it might be the thing. Remember, they're human, so you hear all these boos, and you're thinking in your head, I made the right call, so fuck you. I'm going to start making every call if you think that was the wrong call.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Seriously. We had this talk before we came up that I was that parent in high school football, the first year my kid played high school football.
Yeah.
And I sat back, and I'm like, holy shit.
I'm that guy.
I'm that guy, and I can't be that
him.
guy. I can't. I'm the guy standing up, throwing my hands up, yelling at I remember one time the refs were coming off the field after a game. I walked down to their tunnel to yell at them.
Yeah.
And that was a point where I'm like, I'm that guy. I can't be that guy.
What have I
anymore.
become? You're like,
And
looking
then,
at your hands.
well, and then I learned, and then I honestly learned, I didn't know this. All these guys that do high school football and all that, they're volunteers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not getting paid. They're out there because they love the game. They love being around the kids and stuff. WHL officials get paid not very much because I know what they get paid, but it's still a developmental league, and fans, you need to back the fuck up.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yep.
Call a spade, man. Don't try to blame everything on the referees. Do they miss calls? Yes. Do they make some not very good calls? Yes.
Yeah. Now there's the guy.
Talk to the
There's the
NFL
guy,
about
the
that.
trumpet guy who plays like the 3 blind mice.
Yeah.
There's the guy that holds the sign up that's got the referee with his head up his ass.
I love that guy.
That's funny.
Yep.
That's chirping. That's
Sure.
all in good fun.
Sure.
But like going down to the box while the referees have their like mid-period break,
Right.
and are like drying their face off, getting some water,
Right.
and going down there and like folding your arms in front of them and like telling them to leave.
Yeah.
Like,
First off, you're the asshole. You look like the asshole.
you look like a douche.
Exactly.
You look like a douche.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's so dumb.
So anyway, fans,
but let's
be better.
yeah, get good. We had this chat last week about like something else that I won't take up too much time with. But like
We're good.
the fans like just have fun. You're there to watch hockey.
Right.
You're paying for the experience.
Right.
How are you getting your money's worth just boiling your own blood the whole
Right.
fucking game?
You're not.
Like,
What are you-
get excited.
You're
Get
taking
into the game.
You're
Have
taking
fun.
time
Okay.
off of your life.
This-
I mean,
People around you fucking hate you.
Yes.
So I got a tangent here. Well, you said, can I borrow the soapbox for just a second?
I wish I had like a table scooting across the floor sound.
We'll fix it in post.
I hate the.
So, the store and therefore I, we spent the weekend at RadCon. For those of you listening out of the Tri-Cities, RadCon is a local science fiction convention. Mostly cosplay anymore, but they have lots of guests and gaming, and it's just a fun little con.
Yeah.
And so we're at the con all weekend. Friday night, I lost so much faith in nerdmanity that I can't even. It hurt my fucking heart.
Were there furries?
Oh my god, there were so many, but that's not
Oh
what
my
I'm
god, that
bitching
was
about.
a joke. That's scary now.
So many, but that's not what I was.
Furries?
Oh,
We will tell you.
We'll get into
I know. I know what,
Oh,
but I
okay.
was just making sure that's what you
Yeah,
said.
no,
I know
yeah,
what they are.
they
I
were
know what that
everywhere.
is.
They were everywhere.
Wow.
But so anyway, which I get. I don't not like that. I don't get it, but I understand why their community gravitates towards my community, the nerd community, is because people who are
Different.
unhappy with their own lives and like to fall away into a fantasy life.
Sure.
I'm just saying I understand the mentality. That's
Right.
all. I don't get wanting to shit in a litter box the size of a kiddie pool. That's weird.
Yeah.
I just found out that's a thing, by the way. I didn't know that was real, but that's real. Anyway, I'm walking through the con, and there's cosplayers everywhere. People are having a good time. I walk into the main lobby of the Red Lion in Pasco, and they have this living room area, this waiting room set up that's next to the cafe diner that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
There were 25 to 30 people in full costume, fucking lightsabers and blasters and ninja swords, the whole 9 yards. And these 25 to 30 fucking people have paid $50 fucking to come into this convention, are all sitting around watching Everybody Loves Raymond.
I can't even. That doesn't even register with me. Why?
They're all in the
And I'm not a part of nerd culture, and even for me, it's why?
There's panels going on. There's a fucking rave happening. There's fucking games to play. Fucking movies being shown.
Yeah.
All kinds of shit.
Yeah.
And these motherfuckers are watching Everybody Loves Raymond. Now, first off, my hatred for Ray Romano aside. What the fuck are you doing? It's the same thing. It's why do you spend money
Find somewhere else.
to do? You just figure out something, man.
For real.
fuck's sakes.
For real.
I mean, it's not my money, and I can't tell them what to do with it. But
Right.
if you pay money for a fucking hockey game,
yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, how many people do you think complain about
know what's-
ticket prices at a WHL game and then go and just complain and their blood pressure goes through the roof the whole time? They're taking time off of their life. So they're complaining about a $20 ticket, but they're paying $20 to kill themselves. What?
yeah, I don't.
Let's all be Carolina, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bunch of jerks.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's
a whole nother-
segues into something else.
Don Cherry can shut the fuck up, dude.
that fucking
I'm serious.
That guy
Called Carolina a
fuck
bunch
him.
of jerks for their post-game celebrations.
Look at the guy. He's wearing a fucking shower curtain.
every game.
Every game he's wearing some fucking
Don Cherry, buddy.
God damn it.
Seriously, man, that guy can fuck off.
Washed up old has been. Fuck that guy.
He's been around for a long time, and he knows a lot of shit.
Here's my
Don't
gripe.
get me wrong.
Here's my gripe with Don Cherry right now. Yeah, he does know a lot of shit, and he knows the sport of hockey. He is hockey in Canada.
Yeah, absolutely.
But here's the fucking problem: hockey is a sport that is still trying to develop in a lot of places around the world, including the United States.
Yes.
And you're a fucking ambassador.
And
Yes.
and you are a face of hockey in
Yes.
Canada. You are fucking toxic to the game.
Yes.
Don Cherry is fucking toxic.
Your
to
time
hockey.
is up, dude.
Yeah,
Walk
you
away.
are fucking done.
Ron
take
McLean and Tara Stone that do the whole hometown hockey,
Yeah.
which is part of, Don Cherry is a part of that a lot of times. Those two are perfect ambassadors for the game.
Yeah.
They just need to boot Cherry and just let those guys run with it.
Dude,
Cherry and fucking Milbury can go off in a cabin somewhere.
As Jeremy
They
Roenick
need-
sa's, Milbury's a donkey.
Maybe we should get all the old timers together and just run a fucking seminar and make Bobby Euchre talk to him. Be like, learn from this fuck.
I was picturing more of a Oh man, I can't think of the word. It's too early in the morning. What's that thing where you like your friend is doing something bad and you want them to break that habit? So
Intervention.
Intervention. We'll have an intervention for Don Cherry. And look,
Dude, you're in a
Don-
He's 87 years old.
love
He's
you.
senile,
You just
man.
need
He
to
ain't gonna
stop.
get it.
No.
But
No,
anyway,
good. Now he'll fucking run for president here and win.
Don Cherry has been very relevant to the game for a very long time. He knows his stuff.
Not anymore.
But you need to shut your mouth, dude, because I love what the Carolina Hurricanes are doing. I loved when they came out and did the baseball thing the other day, and
that
then they're
was
like,
great.
"Oh, now we'll just piss off people in two sports."
Yeah.
I thought it was perfect.
Yeah.
and
No,
to get those shirts printed up, we're a bunch of jerks, and run with it, man, because that is a town that the passionate fans love their team, and they have struggled to stay alive there. I know all about that place.
And I've been to those games.
Yeah.
And I've seen that place empty as fuck, and it's
Yes.
sad. And now they're starting to fill more seats.
Yes.
Their attendance, I think, is roughly around 13,900 right now.
That's not too bad.
That's the average. That's
Considering.
the average. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and for a place in Carolina, like that's pretty good considering when I was going to the games, it was like 8,000 or 9,000 a game.
Right.
Which is not much more than Toyota fills.
Right. This is a team, though, that has won a Stanley Cup. This is a team that has a lot of history. But what I love is, okay, if we can't be an elite team on the ice, we're going to have at least fun with it. But they are good. They're doing well. I think they're in the play. They knocked Pittsburgh down a notch to get that last spot. But
I think they've switched places now. I think Pittsburgh's in and Carolina's out.
it keeps jockeying back.
They still have that chance.
Right. Carolina could make the playoffs this year.
Absolutely. Fuck, it's just, man, did Philly fucking roundly hand the Wings their ass the other day, dude.
Well, except it was a tale of two games. It was like
was.
5-1 Philly at one point, and then Philly ends up winning 6-5 in overtime.
Yeah.
The next day was
That
more
was
of a
third period, 15 minutes to go. I
Right.
left to go to work.
Yeah, you and I were
Philly
talking
was
about
up
it.
5-1.
Yeah.
And then I looked down later, and it's like overtime. Like, what the fuck?
I'm walking
Dude,
through
yes.
Costco. Yeah, I when I left my house, it was 3-1 Philly. I'm like, okay, cool. We got to go to Costco. Let's get it over with. I'm walking through Costco, and my phone's just buzzing off the hook. The NHL goal. And
same.
I'm like, wow, we must really be killing it. And I open it up. It's like it's headed to overtime, 5-5. And I'm like, holy shit. I think I read somewhere that was the
Like I had
first
to sit
time,
down.
first time in forever since Detroit has erased a 4-point deficit in the third period to get at least a point in that game.
Dude. Oh,
The game the next day in Detroit, Philly kind of owned that one a little bit more. That was a 3-1 game.
That was the one I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sunday, it was so cool, man. Hockey Day in America happened, so NBC was doing a lot of stuff. Right before the Minnesota Wild game, I'm sitting there and I'm doing something on my phone, doing some social stuff, and I hear this voice on TV.
Kwame!
And I'm like, holy shit, that's Kwame, man. So I texted him. I'm like, hey, I just saw you on TV, dude. And he's like, yeah, I bet you were pretty surprised about that, huh? Dude, good on the Minnesota Wild for bringing him in.
Dude, him rocking they got him the
Quamster.
Quamster jersey.
Yeah.
It was fucking
awesome.
dynamite, dude.
Yeah, I love that guy. So it was cool to. We haven't talked in a while, and I texted me right back. He's a great guy. So that was fun. Hockey Day in America, I think, is a great thing.
Absolutely.
You know, speaking of, I'm just going off a whim here, but speaking of broadcasters and stuff, I have to give a big shout out to Catherine Tappan, who's on NBC. She's the blonde who does a lot of feature stories. She's usually the kind of the MC. She's the one, and then you've got like Ronick and Milbury talking about stuff.
I don't know if Milbury talks. He mostly just shits.
Milbury just opens his mouth like.
I will say though, before
was a solid
not
impression.
to interrupt, but like I will say that I was listening to Spit and Chicklets, and I think it might have been Ronick, talking about Milbury, and he's like, it's really weird because off camera he's a totally different person. Like he's actually nice and laughing and fun.
So it's his on-air personality.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I mean,
I talk shit on Milbury pretty harshly, but
yeah.
but they're all human, I guess.
That makes
Except
there's
Don
actually,
Cherry. He's probably like fucking animated from Mutant Ants or something. I don't know, but
there's a couple people locally that I know, like on a personal level, that are involved in the entertainment industry, radio and TV. What you see live is a lot different than what they are in the background. And they say that's my on-air personality. That's what I do.
Oh, yeah.
And I get that. Catherine Tappan, though, because, you know, how many of us have seen, and I'm not just talking female broadcasters, but male and female broadcasters, you sit there and you watch them, you're like, this person has no idea what they're talking about. They're only here because of whose dick they sucked.
That's how I
For
feel
male
about
or
me.
female. For male or female. I'm not trying to be...
It's literally how I feel about me on this podcast.
Wait, you guys didn't have to?
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no,
yeah.
you did. You did.
Yeah, I didn't even know the
job.
guy. He was out back and was like, "Yeah, man, you can come on in."
Yeah.
After I do.
Right.
Catherine.
Ooh, what a lovely tea party.
Wow.
And when it's all over, I want you to say, "Oh, what a lovely tea party."
In Earl Grey. Catherine Tappan has worked her
Sorry.
way up through the ranks, and she is she's a classy person. And she loves the game. Like, I watch NHL Network a lot, and some of these females, and I'm not, that's not a sexist statement. Some of these females that you see on there, their passion is baseball, but because the MLB owns the studio where the NHL Network is at, they'll put them over on hockey a lot of times. And in the fact that the game still thinks that we need to have eye candy just to have eye candy on these shows.
Yeah.
You know they don't know what they're talking about. You go to their fucking social media pages and they're talking baseball. They know it all day long.
Yeah.
But then they go and talk about hockey. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Catherine Tappan has been a hockey broadcaster for the last 15 years that has worked her way up through the ranks, college, semi-pro, pro, all that stuff.
That's awesome. I'm just, my filter worked, and I was really happy.
Good. I saw that look on your face. I'm like, don't do it.
No, what
I want to make it clear. It's not about female broadcasters. That's not what I have the beef with. What I have beef with is people that are put on there just because they're pretty.
Yeah.
And they don't know what they're talking
That goes
about.
both ways.
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
yeah.
And that's male, or that's why I said that's male or female. There's a lot of male broadcasters that I'm just like, what?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Dude, I did a stint in TV production.
Yeah.
And I worked with a guy who was an anchor for the AM news at a local TV station. And this was a long time ago, so and I'm not going to throw his name out there or anything.
Sure.
But he was the dumbest, most vapid human I'd ever met in my life. I'm pretty sure he was just a fucking, like a chia pet.
Yeah.
He was just a shell, man.
Yeah.
He fucking had nothing to him. And he would turn it on. He was charming and handsome.
Yeah.
And then he would walk out. And I was like, you're going to fucking forget to breathe, you fucking knuckle dragger.
Yep.
God, I hated
Somebody
him.
get this guy a small tree. He needs the oxygen.
Give him an enema, man. No, but first off, I love being at live games where you don't have to listen to broadcasters. First time I ever went to an NHL game, I was like, this is awesome.
Yep.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
amazing. I was at a Super Bowl, that was a long time ago, 2000, but that was weird, watching a Super Bowl with nothing, no announcers or anything like that. And I've been to a couple NFL games, but for the most part, the people, what's his name? Doc Emmerich, the guy that calls games. He's one of the best, but I can't stand him. Like, I can't stand to listen to his voice. He's so good at what he does, but I cannot stand to listen to his
He does all the
voice.
commentary on like the EA games too for the,
Yeah.
the NHL
I know.
games. Yeah.
I know. Him and Eddie Olczyk, I think, do that.
Yep.
But but it's just like, anyway, I don't know why we went down that rabbit hole. One of the things I wanted to talk about last time we commenced. By the way, we're 2 weeks overdue because of Snowpocalypse that happened last week.
Blame my wife.
A lot. Well, no, it wasn't just that. I mean, our kids were out, and I was like, my van sucks in the snow. So, but for those of you that think, well, you live in Washington State, don't you get a lot of snow? I'm going to remind you again, we live in the desert of Washington State, where
It's a continental steppe.
we had 16 inches in like 2 days.
Oh, yeah. It was here's
ridiculous.
winter all at once.
Oh yeah, and
was-
it's lasting. We still have snow everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
The snow gods were like, "Oh, we missed a spot."
Missed it. Get it. Get them.
So
Even Seattle got rocked.
Underground Files, one of the other podcasts that I do, we were doing an episode on demon possession.
Okay.
And so Katie was like, I want to summon a demon. And I was like, fucking have at it. Let's see what happens. I ain't scared. Let's do this, right? If you're going to, you got to go all in, right?
Yeah.
So if you'll notice, that's beef blood right there on the floor where the cord's wrapped up.
Oh.
She spilled blood all over the place.
Okay. So it was a sloppy summoning.
Ouija boards over there. She had candles, the whole 9 yards. And
I knew it felt cold up here.
she's convinced that she summoned a fucking water demon in the middle of winter and made all this happen. I think she's being narcissistic. I was like, you don't have that much power. You're a dabbler.
So, but if that's true, then she's the one that needs to be tarred and feathered. So
Yeah, she's down in the cafe. We
Yeah.
can throw
she
things
made
at
my
her on the way
Americano
out.
for me.
We'll
this
just take
morning,
some of the coffee beans and
No,
Yeah,
so that's why we missed last week, because we were under a lot of snow, and unfortunately, the cities around here really don't know what to do to clear snow.
You know what, dude? Kennewick did a damn fine job.
Kennewick did pretty good.
Kennewick looks great. Richland shit the bed. How
Richland's-
do we end up talking about the fucking road?
And the weather, roads and weather, brought to you by Old Guys.
Old
Bunch of
guys
old
at
guys.
buriedpuckthreads.com.
Beards,
But anyway,
sipping our lattes.
so 2 weeks ago, one of the things we wanted to talk about that we didn't was Carter Hart. And,
Oh, yeah.
You had brought up that you had a friend of yours that just started listening to the podcast.
So one of the other, one of my Twitch viewers, and one of the Trivium fans,
Yeah.
he was on like a long road trip and was like, "Hey guys, I need something to listen to," and somebody suggested someone suggested the podcast, or I don't think I did. Like
Yeah.
he just started listening to it, and he was like, "Dude, I'm cracking up. This is hilarious." And I'm like, "Awesome! Which episode are you on?" And I was just like briefly worried, and he was like, "The first one." I was like, "Oh, cool." He was like, I'm laughing so hard at like what you're
Don't
saying
let it
about
be number 8. Don't
He's
let it
like-
be number 8.
yeah."
What was number 8? No, seriously, what episode was number 8?
Porn and traffic.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, that one.
Whatever, I was fucking on fire on that episode.
That
You
was-
were,
that
you were
was good. That
still
was a good
like
one. That was
you. I
good.
don't think you were fully awake at that point.
No, that was
But
that
you
was
were on
still
fire.
in the narcolepsy days.
But anyway,
But he was like, I was just laughing so hard at like what you guys were saying about Carter Hart, and I was like, oh yeah, haha. What did we say? I totally forgot.
Don't ask me
'Cause
what
that
we
was
talked about
that
early
was
on.
like preseason time, right?
Yeah.
Before it started or something like that.
Right.
And we had said something to the extent of, I don't think he's going to make it in the NHL.
we in essence
And
said we're hoping
especially
for
with
the
that
best.
long line of fucking
Yeah.
goalies that the Flyers like to keep in their back pocket,
Right.
Who they could field their own team with all the goalies they have.
You know, right now they have 4 goalies on the active roster. 4 of a 23-man roster
Jesus
is goalies right now.
Christ.
And they all but one have to clear waivers.
Yep,
And that one is Carter Hart.
Yeah.
yep. He's not eligible,
Nope.
so
Yeah. But no, here, bottom line, pretty much what we said is we hope for the best, but we expect the worst.
yeah.
Is kind of what we were looking
Well,
at.
and I had seen him in preseason stuff.
Yeah.
And I wasn't too impressed.
No. He didn't impress in Lehigh Valley when he was playing for the AHL.
No. And so our hopes for him were sadly not as high as they should have been.
No. And the other thing, too, was he played in Everett, and Everett was a very defensive system, which in my opinion, padded his numbers a little bit. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true now, because now Dustin Wolf is doing amazing.
Killing it.
And Everett is an offensive team now.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, we looked at that and we're like, as a Philly fan, I'm like, I hope he's the second coming.
Absolutely.
But
I
don't
cheer
think-
every WHL player that comes out of the
Absolutely.
league and goes into the NHL. Everyone. Yamamoto.
He's
anyone.
not. He's with the AHL.
Yeah, but still, like he's been drafted. And I look at every night. I look at the list.
Yeah.
Of
I
guys
fucking
that are
love that
drafted.
kid,
Yeah.
dude. I really
Yeah.
do.
In that game the other day, the Philly-Detroit game, it was so cool to hear Carter Hart with a stop on Michael Rasmussen.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh
Yeah.
man,
You're
we've
like,
seen
oh, that's
that before.
familiar.
Yeah. That's been many shutouts in our building.
I'm
Thanks.
with you though. I love watching these guys.
Yeah, and so because of that first episode, and anyone that's listening and remembering that between like our contrast on Carter Hart talk, like I'm flexible enough to put my own foot in my mouth, but I have a really big boot on, and I can't do it without enough grease. So
Right. I'm the same way with you as a
I
Philly
mean,
fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we're definitely happy to see Carter Hart's success, and I enjoy seeing any success coming out of these kids
Absolutely.
that leave the WHL, no matter how much shit I give them. Like,
Right.
oh, who was the one kid? There's one kid I was giving a lot of shit to, but he's in the NHL and he's doing great. And
I used to
I'm
give a
happy.
lot of shit to Leon Draisaitl because
Oh,
the guy was.
yeah.
Well, he was really good when he was in Kelowna, but he was also if you follow any of his stuff on social media, and I know he's German or something like that. But
Yeah.
some of the things he says are really belligerent and really racist, like
What?
racist,
What?
homophobic.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. If you go back, and I'm talking 3 or 4 years ago, but because I follow a lot of our players on social media, and of course
Yeah.
they're friends
Yeah.
with all these guys. And there was one, I think it was, I don't remember who the player was, but he had made a comment on there. I'm like, wait, is this who I think it is? And I was like, oh, that's Leon Draisaitl.
Interesting.
Great player. But I'm with you. It's like, and some of them aren't going to make it. Like,
Yeah.
Brandon Carlo, when Carlo cracked in with the Bruins, there was a lot of hype around him, and he has
yeah.
settled in nicely to a top 4 at this point.
Yeah.
Charlie McAvoy.
He was starting with Chara his first year.
Yeah, absolutely. And
That was
McAvoy's
incredible.
come in, and McAvoy's done kind of what they expected
Yeah.
McAvoy to do. I mean, he's going to be your top defenseman one day.
Yeah,
once Chara
absolutely.
steps down in 12 years.
I don't think Chara's a top defenseman right now.
No, he's not. But because of his stature and his position on that
Oh,
team,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
why he is getting the
I
number
see what
one
you're
time
saying.
up there.
Okay.
But anyway,
But yeah, like
our foot is boots in the mouths for Carter Hart.
Yeah.
He's now my pick for number 2 in Calder. The Calder
yeah, oh yeah,
Trophy.
yeah.
Ooh,
I am.
Yeah.
I am all for it because he.
Pedersen's going to win it.
Yeah,
He is.
he's doing great. He's
He
doing
is.
great, and Gretzky loves the kid.
Oh yeah.
Like, if Gretzky looks at you like that, then
Mm-hmm.
you're something special. Apparently,
Hart will be a top 3 candidate for Calder,
I think so,
in my
yeah.
opinion, though, and
Yeah.
and rightfully so. I mean, he's started. I believe his numbers before
he
last
bailed,
night.
He bailed out the Flyers.
He bailed out the Flyers big time, and the players in the locker room will tell you that. A lot of times they're
Absolutely.
like, we're confident in knowing that we can fuck up and know that this guy's going to backstop us. He did get pulled last night, but they played Tampa Bay.
Everybody gets pulled.
Well, yeah.
Everybody gets pulled.
Right. But, I mean, he's still like, he's the top goals against average on the team. His backup last night was Brian Elliott, who came in.
How
But they
did
played Tampa.
that make you feel?
What, the
You,
Brian
you
Elliott's
played in the
backup?
WHL like last year, and Brian Elliott's your fucking backup.
That's pretty insane. But think about the. Okay, so what are the 4 players now? Carter Hart, Brian Elliott, Cam Talbot, and McKenna are the 4 goalies that are on the active roster right now. Elliott, McKenna, and Talbot would all have to clear waivers. The Flyers just traded for Talbot, Stolars.
I think he might be trade bait.
Talbot.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right because Edmonton's in a downward spiral as well.
I don't know why I just thought of this. We'll get to it in a second. Remind me.
Not Bobrovsky. You're not going to say
no,
that.
Rasmussen.
Okay. Trade bait?
No.
Okay.
No. But I do want to mention that, like, speaking of like social media and the guys in the WHL that we like to watch, I've started kind of following a little bit more of them, especially like Dylan Ferguson.
I love that guy.
And you know, every time we get these kids in, like if we get Portland in,
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck yeah, I get to see Cody Glass tonight.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love my M's and I want my M's to win every single game that I watch.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
I like when I get to see Cody Glass. I like to get.
I like when
get to see-
Yamamoto was around.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Ty Smith has been fun to watch this
Yeah.
year for
Oh, yeah.
Spokane. He's
And then-
really good.
Dude, I
And then-
remember the first game that I saw Yamamoto play in.
Which one?
and I
Because there
look-
were 2 brothers at one point. Keanu was playing too.
Yeah. But I remember looking at you and going, that little fucker is fast.
Yeah.
Like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
It's like he's a rat on the ice. 'cause
yeah,
you can't
dude,
catch
I
him.
love that kid,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so if you guys don't like, I just off of one post, I was like, yeah, I like this Ferguson kid. He's
Yeah, oh,
cool.
yeah.
He had a picture of him like doing a sprawling save, like split save, like his legs were splits, and he had like his glove out, and it was a really epic looking picture. And all the caption said was "pulls groin." And I lost it. I thought it was funny as hell. Yeah, so. I'm going to make an abrupt segue into this. I don't know if you guys have seen this. There's a rumor going around that is very interesting, and it also just further complexes my understanding of a CHL and NHL contract. They're talking about sending Michael Rasmussen back to Tri-Cities before the trade deadline.
To protect him?
Kind of. What they want to do is they want him to play more hockey because the Red Wings are kind of doomed for a playoff run. If they send him back to Tri-Cities,
Yeah.
he will be eligible to play in the AHL playoffs for Grand Rapids.
Right.
Grand Rapids
I do know
is
that.
doing really well. So what they will do is they will send him back here. He'll play here until Grand Rapids goes to the playoffs, and then he'll start in the playoffs with Grand Rapids,
Except
giving him a deep run of hockey in the summer. The alternate argument to that is that, like, well, why don't we just play him out with the Red Wings, let him finish up his first year experience, and then have him just hit the gym all fucking summer to fill
Yeah.
out his frame.
Yeah.
I honestly I agree with both sides to an extent.
Yeah.
So,
Except
but
the
that's
one
an interesting thing that I've come across recently.
the one wrench in that plan would be he would be eligible to go play for Grand Rapids, but it would have to be after the AM season is over. So if they go on a long run like they did last year, I mean, they played until April 30th
Then he'd
last
be
year.
stuck, yeah.
Exactly. Because I watched Eric Comrie do it 2 seasons, or maybe it
Okay.
was just the 1 season. But he was only 19 when the season was over here, and they immediately sent him off to
Winnipeg.
whatever. It was St. John's at that point was the team.
Oh, really?
Carlo did it after he got drafted. When the
Yeah.
season was over, he went and played for Providence in the AHL. So they don't have to hit 20 if it's in that situation, because it's like they're
Yeah,
being loaned or whatever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And Razzie's played some time in the A this year because he had a conditioning stint.
Yeah, he had 2 or 3 games.
Valimaki was the same way.
Yep.
He played in the
Valimaki's
A.
still down there.
And his injury turned out to be a long one. That happened like mid-November, and he just got back on the ice a couple weeks ago.
Oh, is he back in Calgary?
I don't think he's back in. I think he's still in Stockton.
Last
or
I
wherever.
checked, like last week, he was still in Stockton.
And a lot of people brought that up too when Razzie was playing in the AHL. A lot of fans were like, I thought he couldn't be there till he was 20. It's like, well, except it's a conditioning stint, so he can only be there for like a few games.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's an interesting twitch. That CHL NHL contract
don't
is an
understand it.
interesting one, man. And not only that, you really want to like try to find out what's going on. Look at the import situation. Because
I don't even bother.
what's his name? Philip Zadina. Your boy Zadina. There was a whole, because he was quote unquote on loan to his junior team here from his European team. That's why he was eligible to play in the A this year.
Yep.
But there, at one point, the GM of the junior team he was playing for said he's not on loan. He's our draft pick. We didn't get him on loan.
Yeah.
So then that was a whole, well, can he play in the AHL? Does he have to go back to junior? It worked out. He's in the A with Grand Rapids, but it's such a crazy contract, the CHL NHL agreement.
So this guy, this is the tweet that I'm referencing.
And Dylan Ferguson, I love
it's
you.
a beat writer for the Detroit Red Wings.
Okay.
And he wrote in a tweet, Red Wings lines at practice: Bertuzzi, Larkin, Mantha, so on and so forth. The fourth line was Helm, De La Rose, Abdelkader with Rasmussen rotating in. Team considering sending Rasmussen to junior club Tri-City, which would make him eligible for AHL playoffs with Griffins hockey.
Interesting.
And then below that is a lot of people that don't understand. Just like me.
No, I mean, it
and a lot of
makes
people are like,
sense.
fuck Abdelkader, fucking send him out of there.
But he would have to stay here until the season's over, which honestly, at the beginning of this year, I wasn't sure if the Ams were going to be able to make a run like they did last year. I'm still not 100%, but man, they've been impressing me lately.
Good.
And let me
Oh, yeah.
just say, Beck Warm.
Man.
Every game that I don't know how many times in that Spokane game the other night,
Yeah,
I'm just
first star
like,
last night, yeah.
holy shit, man.
No, this kid is seeing a lot of shots. He's seeing tons of shots.
Yep.
Imagine what he
If
would
we
do
had
if
a
we
D?
had a stronger defense. Like, okay, so the defense, I feel like our defense is still kind of developing a little bit,
It's gotten better as the
But-
season's gone on.
but he's still seeing like 35 to 45
Spokane
shots.
was 50
a game.
shots the other night, and he let in 5. He still had a 90% on 50 shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Beck's doing awesome.
The Spokane game that I went to, was like 51 shots on goal. Or
It might have
Yeah.
been that high.
Yeah, I think
it
it
was
was that one.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Ams give up a lot of shots, but they got him. Man, Beck.
I had to pat him on the back last night though. First period, this guy comes down, tries to take a shot, drips, barrels into Beck,
Yeah,
sends him and Beck into the back of the net.
yeah.
And as the guy gets up to skate away, Beck just kind of like whoop, like hooks his stick, and his stick just goes flying. And the referee saw it and didn't do anything. And the
That's
guy was like,
awesome.
"What the fuck?" And then we scored.
That's awesome.
And I was like, "Fuck yeah, Beck, protect that crease. That is
Yeah.
your fucking crease. You let people know that they aren't allowed there."
Yep.
And I thought that was awesome. He wasn't like violent or anything about
Right.
it. He was just like, "Get out of here." You know,
Dude, he is
I
so
love that.
he is
I
so
love that.
poised out there, man. And the game against Kamloops last Friday, I have to say, watching Dylan Ferguson really impressed me that night. I was watching him in the tunnel, how fired up he was. Kamloops isn't even in a playoff position right now. They might be right now, but he's all fired up. He's having fun. Every time that they would come out for different periods, every time he'd skate past Beck, he's stick tapping him.
Yeah.
I mean, Beck Warm at this point, to us, he's great, but to the hockey world, he's a nobody. Nobody knows who he is. Dylan Ferguson
I feel like
has
he's
played,
underrated. Yeah.
Dylan Ferguson has played in Madison Square Garden with the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's...
Well,
he's
he
on the-
was back up that night,
Right,
That
but I'm
was
just saying,
And then he started in like Vancouver, I think.
Right, but what I'm saying is they're on different levels right now, and he's out there being just a great hockey player, just a
Yeah.
great person on the ice. And then Tri-City ended up winning that night, but Ferguson looked like it didn't let him get him down. He's just a good person.
Yeah. Well, look
And
at
Yahoo
what,
for him.
Look
Seriously.
at Beck's career so far. What was his role last year?
Was he 1B or was he backup?
Yeah,
I don't know.
A lot of times,
What was his role the year before when
Yeah.
Toronto was
he
here?
was in the stands a lot because we had two goalies, and then we had Beck who would occasionally rotate in.
Who was the second goalie last year? I thought it was Beck.
Yeah, but
because Patrick Day.
Okay, last year he didn't get a lot of time, but the year before it was Toronto and Sarthau. And then Beck was in the stands a lot.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Sarthal.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing well, Sarts.
So and then
Yeah,
then we
good
had
point.
Pirano, and Pirano was in, and we were doing like a 50-50 rotation for like
1A,
the first.
1B.
Yeah, it was the first start of the year. It was 50-50 rotation, but then like after a while, we just kept playing Pirano, and I'd see Beck down in the hall before, and I was like, he's starting. And, I don't like to talk to the goalies before games, so I know how goalies are. But Beck's always been pretty. He's been pretty cool, approachable. He'll say hi. I'll wait till he says hi, and then you starting? Oh, come on.
First year I was around.
I've been rooting for Beck since he's been here.
Oh yeah, and he was been drafted. He was 15-year-old is when he first started showing up here.
Yep.
But
From the
first year that I did video, they were like, okay, you can put a camera in Comrie's face anytime you want during game day. Don't talk to him. Just don't talk to him. Just you film him doing whatever you want, but don't talk to him.
yeah, I feel
And
like
that guy was so focused, man.
Yeah.
So focused.
I
Anyway.
respect that. I can't.
Oh, I do
that.
too.
That's
I think
not
it's
me.
great. No. I'm with you. I think it's great.
I used to feel like I had like a like a beer league goalie routine to like help me kind of get into it. And, like all I did was like work myself up and make my anxiety go through the roof. So I just I just show up. Like my dad's always like, "Who you playing tonight?" I was like, "I don't fucking know. I'm just the other team." Like,
The puck.
When I was
yeah, pretty much.
when I used to play beer league as a goalie, my warm up routine was a lot like Goldberg and the Mighty Ducks, dude. It was just tie me to the thing and just shoot at me. It was that comical.
I like that.
So we got to wrap it up soon because somebody's got to go to the doctor today. That would be me. But what do we got going on? What's your story?
Well,
Who are you? Why are you here?
I don't know yet. I haven't figured out.
I got no place else
got
to
no-
go.
Jesus.
You missed it,
I
dude.
did. You fucking set it up, and I let it slide right past me. Anyway,
What's going on with the store? You guys are. I know you had some time off with the weather and stuff like that, but you guys are kicking it out down there.
Yeah, dude. Well, like I said, we did RadCon this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It was hectic. It was really busy here in the store.
Yeah. Garagerama. Are we still talking?
Garagerama is coming.
About that? Word. Just stay tuned for that one. We talked a little bit last episode, but stay tuned.
Yeah, that is. Did I talk to you about Barry Puck Presents Garagerama?
I don't think you mentioned that. But you already threw it out there.
I was thinking
so
about building the network up a little bit
Cool.
and giving you some more
it
content.
fits the brand.
I think so.
Fits the brand well.
I think so. So be on the lookout for that. Garagerama will be a punk and gore movie podcast, just talking about all things made in garages. Just DIY junk.
If you're not a Rob Zombie fan, you probably won't enjoy it. Just saying. Just saying.
But what else do we got going on? We've got the Cavalcade of Authors coming up, so we've got like a bunch of cool people coming in.
Cool.
To the shop and just building the 70th anniversary of the Uptown is coming.
That's crazy.
And
Wow.
that is May 17th, I want to say.
Nice.
I could be wrong on the date, but either which way, I was thinking of pitching it to you to
Do a little pop up.
get some and maybe
some
some
hockey
ball
out there.
hockey out
Yeah.
there. Just out in the parking lot. We're gonna have a bunch of stuff going on. There's gonna be bands playing. We're sponsoring a beer garden.
Nice.
That should be pretty fun. Need to get out to a game.
You do. We need to figure that out.
Chomping
the
at the
one
bit.
that I know you were at RadCon this past week, but that Spokane game was a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, the Ams were handling it, and then all of a sudden Spokane started pushing back, and it just turned out to be a great rivalry.
That was a edge of your
7-5
seat kind of game.
final, I think was that one,
I would like
and it was
to
packed.
take
Thank you, fans.
a second to do a little shout out to a big time AM supporter, Dr. Miles McCartney.
Oh yeah, Uptown
from
Vision,
Uptown Vision.
who sponsors the referees every game.
He does, and but I
From a Vision
I
Center.
talked to Miles yesterday,
Yeah.
and he's got some pretty severe health stuff going on.
Okay.
And so that it's a dude with I don't always see eye to eye with, but
Right.
he's got a massive love of hockey.
Yeah. Every
And-
game he's there.
And so thoughts and prayers, hail Satan's out to Miles. I
Get
just
well
wanted to
soon,
throw
man.
that out there.
He's right down the street from us. I've been to him before as my eye doctor. Unfortunately, he doesn't take my insurance anymore, but that's the only reason I don't go there anymore. He was good. Yeah, that's sad to hear.
Yeah.
It really is sad to hear. You don't wish that upon anybody. I don't care. there are a lot of people in this world that I don't like, and a lot of people that don't like me. That's fine, but you don't wish stuff like that upon people. So
that dude, man, every time I was sitting in the booth where you sit, like in front of the computers, every time there was a questionable call, he would stand up and be like, "Corey, look at the tape. What happened?" I love it.
that's awesome. What do you got going on? Still trucking along?
Yeah. School's been busy, and
Uber Eats keeping you busy?
Yeah.
Kyle was
with
the only
Snowpocalypse.
one.
You know what's
Dude, I
funny
swear I
is
was the only
we
one.
mentioned Uber Eats like 10 times before I realized that we weren't talking about you just ordering food.
No, I'm not ordering. I deliver it.
I know
This is the
now.
guy. This is the
But
guy.
the original.
You thought I'd just like sit at home and
Yeah,
order Uber
every
Eats?
time he said Uber Eats, I was like, this fucker's just grubbing and playing video games all day.
Corey's thinking, Kyle,
he
you got a
realizes
problem.
it's cheaper to do it other ways, right?
You ever see that movie, The Net? That's Kyle right
This
now.
is
He
all
doesn't
fine
ever
and
leave
good
the
when
house.
you're high. But
No, during Snowpocalypse, I got in the Jeep and I was probably one of the only clowns out there like delivering and
making
I
that
made like
cheddar.
God, I made like $200 in like 2.5 days. or
That's
something.
awesome.
It's like 4 hours a day ish. You know,
You can't beat that with a
killing
stick,
it,
dude.
killing it.
If
Yeah,
you're
it was
ever-
good.
So if you're ever in the Tri-Cities and you see a Jeep with a Golden Knights and a Red Wings sticker on it, that's probably Kyle delivering your McDonald's, so you're welcome.
But yeah, no. Other than that, been kind of trucking along.
Yeah.
Beer league's going good.
Cool.
I guess we're still undefeated.
What team is that? The Rebels?
Rebels. Yeah.
Rebels, man.
We need to get
Rebels are rough on social media, man.
Yeah.
No holds barred for them.
No. Somebody like Sunday night, somebody lost their cool and was throwing sticks onto the ice, was throwing water bottles onto the ice.
From the
Sorry.
other team?
Yeah,
Corey,
it
God
wasn't
damn it.
from the Rebels. It was the other team.
Okay.
And just throwing a fucking kid fit, you know.
Yeah.
And this is a grown ass man. I'm pretty sure he served in the military to some extent.
Wow.
I mean, I know he did. Just losing his mind. You know, I'm never playing hockey again, and throwing his stick on the ice.
Good. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no room for it. Get out of here. Yeah. So the Rebels posted like a gif of some guy throwing a stick at a ref.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I
that's
saw
what that was about.
awesome.
There's every time that the Rebels post something, like it's always kind of like a jab at somebody else.
Yeah,
And I like it. I think it's kind of fun. And
it is
and,
fun. That's their brand.
And the Rebels are probably the most hated team in the league.
yeah.
You know, either because cheap penalties or whatever.
Right.
I don't condone it all the time.
Right.
You know, but it's by far one of the more fun teams I've played with.
Cool.
I've played with typically the Rebels and Iron Horse, and they're both great teams to play
Cool.
for. And I played for a couple other teams, and I don't understand why in a beer league you don't have beer in the locker room, but
That makes no sense.
that's silly. That's just silly.
Doesn't mean everybody's got to drink it, but you got to.
No,
It's
absolutely.
got to be available.
Well, we have guys on the Rebels that don't drink, and
Yeah.
they as long as we're not like pressuring on them, then
Yeah.
they don't care. They,
I get that.
and totally cool with it. That's fine. I'm
Yeah.
not going to make fun of anyone for not drinking. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
you
dude.
know.
Yeah.
But-
you do
but-
you.
Yeah.
But like if I had a beer once in the locker room with this other team I played with, and they looked at me like I'd fucking like murdered their puppy, like they looked at me like I was some kind of heretic, and I'm like, come on, man.
Oh my god, dude! I gotta share this RadCon story real quick. So Saturday night we did the podcast live from RadCon, right?
Yeah.
And afterwards, went out. We had just closed down the shop in the room, and I was like, I want to drink, and so at cons, oftentimes there'll be pop-up bars in rooms, right?
Yeah.
So we go out, we get carded, we do the whole thing, we buy our drink tickets, we get in line in this room, and it's just I can't hear shit.
Boots and pants
Just
and boots and
boom. Yeah,
pants and
it's
boots
fucking-
and pants.
Yeah, ass and titties and ass. Anyway, so it's going along, and I can't fucking hear shit. And out of nowhere, the entire room yells, "Butt Stallion!" like that. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I was terrified. I had
tighten your
no
belt.
idea what it was. And then this dude comes up to me and is like, Corey, gives me a big old hug, and then pops back and begins to talk. And what I could hear was this. Nothing.
Boots and
Just
pants and
boom,
boots and
boom,
pants
boom,
and boots and
right?
pants.
And I'm like, No clue. No clue who this guy was. Right? So we get up to the front of the line. They're screaming butt stallion over and over. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
The record stopped. Everyone stares at you.
So we get up. I come to find out that butt stallion was a shot.
Okay.
And every time somebody
This doesn't
ordered
make it better.
they would and they would scream it. It was tequila rose
That's already bad.
and butterscotch schnapps.
Oh my god.
And then
I'd almost rather it came from a stallion.
and then they gave you it is the consistency of that. And
It's
they-
very similar,
They
actually.
give you this
You wouldn't
fucking
believe it.
They give you this
Oh, my
fucking
God.
con ribbon that glues to the back of your pass. That's just this pink ribbon in gold that says butt stallion on it.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I need one of those. How can you not get one of those? So I order the shot. We take the shot. Either way, I come out of the room. I get my beer, and there was another bar room right next door, which was much quieter. And I'm like, I'm fucking old. I want out of this. I just want to sit and enjoy my beer. So I walk out of the room, around the little garbage can, and into the next room.
Mm-hmm.
I sit down, and fucking Ragnar Lothbrok comes at me with this fucking Viking motherfucker. He's got the big drinking horn and a fucking axe. This dude's ripped and his head shaved and his beard's braided. And he comes running up on me, and I'm like, well, this is how I die. All right. And he's like, you can't have that drink in here. And I was like, this is a bar. Like, what the fuck? Like, you can't take it in the hallway.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I didn't even go in the hallway. I stepped around a door jam.
Yeah.
Right? And then the other bartender comes up and she calms him down. And she's like, no, if they get filled over, they're sending people over here.
Yeah.
So it's all right. And I'm like, okay, cool. Gets her calmed down.
Yeah.
I drink my beer. I go downstairs, and here comes that dude that had hugged me.
Oh.
And he's like, Corey, hey, man, how's it going? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, dude, get to talking to him. We're talking about a bunch of shit. Great guy.
Yeah.
Still nothing.
Yeah.
I'm blanked. I got nothing. And so Drew comes walking up, and I was like, hey, have you met my son, Drew? And Drew sticks his hand out. The guy leans forward, and he goes, Farrell. And I was like, oh, it's fucking Quigley's brother, Joe.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's Joe Quigley's brother. I haven't seen him in about 70 pounds of beard and hair. Like, he was skinny, clean-shaven, short hair. Now he's beefy, bearded, longer hair.
Yeah.
I had no fucking clue who he was, but he didn't know I didn't know who he was.
just play it off.
I totally played it off. And so, Joe, if you're listening, don't tell Farrell I didn't know who he was.
That's funny. On that
What's
note,
up with Barry Puck?
I
know you're trying to get out of here, but
yeah.
let's keep this going.
Pour me another one.
You got two eyes. You got plenty.
We got 2 minutes.
Diabetes.
Just remember March 9th. We're doing our little tailgate.
Pants optional.
Pants optional.
Yep.
I was looking.
Jersey
I'm not-
required.
never mind. I was saying I'm looking at the weather. We already had our weather talk. So
We already talked about the weather for this episode.
I'm just hoping that the parking lot is not buried in snow at that point. So,
that
but
might not be bad though.
hey,
Are we gonna
not
like
be
bring
bad.
a grill out there, or like you got one? Somebody got
We'll
a
figure
trigger
it out.
or something?
We'll figure it out. We'll get that all taken care of. But you guys can come out and buy shirts or just hang out. I'm working on. We might actually have free tickets that night for a bunch of people.
That'd
so,
be nice.
We'll let you know on that. But just come and hang. Just come see the faces behind this bullshit that we do every week. And
Forgive the faces.
forgive the faces, yes, but realize that we do love you.
Not Kyle. Kyle's a
No,
handsome
Kyle's
fuck.
a good looking guy there. But yeah, so that's the big thing coming up. And then, working behind the scenes right now. Still trying to get some different shit off the ground, but we're still live, buriedpuckthreads.com. Check out Soul and Ice movie. If you guys get a chance, that's a good one. That's Kwame's project.
You could buy it online now, right?
Yep. But he's still rocking it, man. He, in fact, that's what he was in Minnesota for, was to do a screening on Monday with people up there in the Wild organization. So, Russian 5.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I
saw
really do
that.
have to go here soon, but I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that looks good.
But anyway, yeah, that's where we're at.
Awesome.
Bring it on home.
I will, absolutely.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So, just a few other things real quick. Be on the lookout. New shirt designs coming down the pipe eventually.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Working on them right now.
Next week or week after, we promised we're still
Depending
going
on
to talk.
snow.
we're still going to talk about women's hockey a little bit more.
Yes, and Dan, if you're listening, I did get your Twitter message, and we'll talk more. I didn't mean to ignore you. It's just I've been buried under snow.
Hey! Tweet on your own fucking
Trapped
time, bro.
under ice.
Jesus.
Trapped under ice.
This has been the Frigid North Cascadia Hockey, brought to you by Buried Puck Threads. I am Corey Gaston, saying goodnight for Aaron Piper, Kyle Houtenstein.
Good night. It's morning.
Shut the fuck up! God damn it, Kyle. I'm trying to give us an era. No, never mind. That's pathetic. You know what that means?
Tit fuckers.
Give your balls a tug.
That's what I should have done.